What's up, friends? Josh here, coming at you with your daily Devo for Friday. Um, we were on a Zoom call today for our Region for All Staff Associates and kind of dove into just what the gospel is and just got a real good reminder. They gave us a scenario: you're with a high school kid or a friend or a business partner or somebody, and they are asking questions. They don't understand why people are so happy about following the Lord and all that kind of stuff, and they just don't get it. They don't get the Lord. They don't get God. And Ashley Flowers, who's our regional director, was asking us, "Hey, what are you saying to this kid? What or friend or person, whoever? Like, how would you go about explaining the gospel to them?" And I think the beginning is pretty important, and just thinking about creation and who created us, why he created us, how we were created, and why, and like just like that. And I think I always go to Genesis 1:27. It says, "So God created human beings in His own image. In the image of God, He created them, male and female." And then a little ways down, it says that He created everything and then created humans and said it was very good. He created the heavens, the earth, animals, plants, all of it, and said it was good, and then created us and said it was very good. And just think starting there is good, because it's, you let them know that, hey, this is not the way that it was intended to be. Like, it was intended for us to be very good and us to be in this right relationship with the Lord. And I think from there, just going to who Jesus is, and diving into the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, whichever one, and just really diving in and telling them, hey, this is who Jesus was, and how he lived and how he walked, and making a point to tell them that Jesus knew what he had to do when he came here. Like, he was born for a reason, and that reason was to save mankind from their sins. And I think it's just good to know that, and be able to communicate that to people in general, whether that's friends, family members, coworkers, anybody. And I think just diving in today would be good to just dive into chapter 23 of Luke. And it talks about the crucifixion and the reasons why Jesus had to die on the cross. I think a lot of the times we can just like kind of overlook it, and just, especially as believers, and just think, oh yeah, Jesus died on the cross is good, but like really diving in to it. So I think spending some time in that this morning, or whenever you get the time today, just reading through Luke 23. It's a lot, but I think it's all really good. I think I'm going to dive into it and just really, really get a good feel for it. I think, especially as leaders, as mentors, as committee members, as just people just involved with the Lord, I think you can never be too refreshed on the story of the gospel from front to back, from creation to Jesus being born, to the way he walked the earth, to the creation, the fall, the reason why we need Jesus, Jesus being born, the things he did on the earth, him dying on the cross, and then the resurrection. I think it's always good to just be in tune with that, and just always have a good, refreshing feeling about being able to communicate that to people and whoever in general, because you never know when somebody might ask you about it. I think just this morning, just really sit in Luke 23, the whole thing. I think it's just good to know, and not to forget about and just breeze over, which I think sometimes we can do. I think just, over the weekend too, just kind of just sit in what the gospel is, and I would say communicate it to yourself. Like, write down if you had to communicate the gospel to somebody, how would you do it? Write it down in a journal, and just kind of just go back to it. I think the one thing that Ashley told us is, like, you can never be too refreshed with the gospel. The gospel is always going to be good and always can give you something, no matter how many times you read it, how many every time it's read to you or you listen to it or whatever. But yeah, just diving into that this morning. I hope y'all have a good Friday and a good weekend. Yeah, love y'all. See y'all later.